How to do scary, serious plumbing. How to remove and fit a new cold water storage system tank in your loft. And a sort of how not to. And a compare and contrast of Freudian analysis of anally retentive and anally expulsive personalities, anally expressive as a result of our toilet training when we were children, and any particular traumas resulting from that, and perhaps a few relevant anecdotes along the way. But here first, take a look at my ball cock. An imploded ball cock is not going to float. Plastic, moulded plastic into what's supposed to be a ball. Plastic isn't impenetrable. It doesn't last forever in its fabricated form. A 50 or 60-year-old fiberglass tank, GRP, with its draft angles to get it out of the mould and its resin in a surface with just left as the mat on the outside, is only supposed to last for 25 years. The ball cock is only supposed to last 10 or 15 years. Does your mother listen to you when you give her advice? When you've been emptying your childhood toys and you just happen to notice that the corners of the fiberglass tank, the GRP tank, are concaved in and the corners are what gives it strength, and you really should get that tank replaced because it could go while we're speaking. My mother doesn't listen to me. It's an adult trauma. Scour the fitting instructions that come inside and you will find tinier than the tiny writing is annotations on a diagram that you have to photograph with great illumination and then zoom to at least 400% more clearly to see one number, 90mm. To fit the polytank, you'll need internet connection to watch a YouTube video
and ensure you have all the contacts to proceed
to get the 90mm dimension. Otherwise, the ball cock inlet that doesn't have a rubber on it will clash with the overflow that does need a rubber on the inside, a washer. Lay out all your gubbins so that you can see what you've got in the pack. Tap the nut off so it falls down the loft hatch and the brass washer that you need. Otherwise it's another visit to the Brico supermarket DIY store thing. After you've gone down searching for it and stood on it and bent it, you won't get it back into shape. If you keep the gubbins in all the bits in the bag, it helps. A tray will get on your nerves, and you'll stand on it and catapult everything everywhere. Now, you don't need the sharp hole saw of 3 different sizes of hole saw. You can ream out a hole in the plastic, but make sure it doesn't go oval. Make sure you get all the burrs off it, and keep checking. You don't want to oversize that hole in your enthusiasm. The biggest and best piece of advice: use the layout of the old tank as far as you can. The pipes that come into it, the overflow, the expansion pipe and the feed pipe. Go with the layout of that and make your holes in accordance with those. There's a whole load of tripling the size of the job that you don't need to do if you go about that. That's within reason why you need to make the holes in your new tank. Let the in situ context decide. You'll likely have a loft ladder fitted. This loft ladder might get in the way of you getting the old tank down, the new tank up, and it's going to be dark up there as likely as not, especially if you've cautiously got the electricity off because of the flood. Now, whether it's householder neglect of 25 years plus, or whether an insurance claim will cover this flood, I'm not too sure yet. I think that takes a close reading of the terms and conditions, the T's and C's. But you with your head torch up there and the cobbled together materials so that you're not spending an absolute fortune on things that you'll never use again. Make a huge difference on your mental well-being and how much you might feel the need to investigate Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory proposals. Am I being a bit anal in this how-to video. A very common phrase, but what's it actually referring to? Well, it's ambiguous, isn't it? Usually it's used to mean you're a very controlling and overly tidy and organised individual, aren't you? No, this would more correctly be referred to as anally retentive. You keep everything inside. You don't want to poo in public. You're a very rigid personality that likes their routines, but we're somewhat forgetting this representation of what we only ever hear as being a bit anal. There's also anally expulsive, much more expressive. We live in this expulsive world, really. It's sort of a little bit like you've had a poo, and then you pick up the poo and then you smear it all over the walls of the public toilets. It's a while since I've used a public toilet, and there aren't so many of them around, but certainly a few years ago, this was something that you might see. In psychoanalytic theory and personality development, this can be a sadistic personality. They're loud and must be heard. Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory proposes that children progress through. I'll stop myself there for a second. Children develop through. I've done a fair amount of supply teaching, substitute teaching that might be to an American. Children don't progress, do they? How many adults do you know that fit the model of mature? Children progress through a series of psychosexual stages. Does anyone argue with that, though? Please refer to other videos where that experimentation on the supply teacher is investigated for you. Each associated with a particular urogenic part of the body. Each body part, the mouth, the anus, the genitals, for the oral, anal and phallic stages respectively, provides a source of bodily pleasure as well as a set of developmental challenges for the child to master. If the child encounters difficulties in a particular stage, perhaps because of conflicts with parents or others that arise from expressing or inhibiting its desires, a fixation may result. Fixations at a developmental stage create points of vulnerability in later life. The insufficiently resolved psychosexual stage may leave its mark on adult personality and create vulnerability for particular individuals. Learning to control your excretory functions, from the bladder perhaps, or the bowels. Any Year 9 teenager can tell you with a toilet pass from the school. Can be a traumatic argument that they have with the supply teacher that they shouldn't need to attend learning. The anal phase follows the oral phase, where you get sensory pleasure from eating and drinking, usually associated with baby development, but equally applicable to teenage school children. Childhood development. General carelessness, rebelliousness, generosity, artistic ability, self-confidence, disorganisation, emotional outbursts, someone who exhibits cruelty. This is anal expulsiveness, the lack of self-control and messy. No, the anally retentive personality is stingy, with a compulsive seeking of order and tidiness. The person is generally stubborn and perfectionist. The attention to detail becomes an obsession, maybe an annoyance to others. Freud posited, I'm sure he did, that children who experience conflicts in which libido energy is underindulged during this period of time, and the child is perhaps too strongly chastised for toilet training accidents, may develop a anally retentive fixation or personality trait. These traits are associated with the child's efforts at excretory control, orderliness, stubbornness, and compulsions for control. Conversely, to the overindulged, anally expulsive. Retentive is the obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. School issuing of toilet passes is perhaps a huge experiment into this pop psychology. But all our collective experience is that it's far from nonsense, isn't it?